Mistakes to avoid when obtaining your PMP certification. Preparing for the exam. Being unprepared to apply. Imagine a time when you were playing a sport and things just didn't go your way. For me, it was soccer. Missing a shot or losing control of the ball felt devastating. Looking back, I realized those moments of frustration were often due to lack of preparation. I hadn't spent enough time practicing, and it showed in my performance. This feeling of being unprepared hit me again when I started my PMP application. I was overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information needed and found myself scrambling to gather everything. But you don't have to go through the same experience. In this lesson, I'll guide you through the exact steps you need to take before starting your application, so you can avoid the stress and complete it with confidence. First, ensure you meet the eligibility requirements, which depend on your work experience and education. You'll need between 36 and 60 months of project leadership experience, along with 35 hours of project management education. Once you're certain you qualify, set up your account with PMI and begin documenting your work experience, focusing specifically on projects where you led the team. For each project, be ready to provide a high-level summary, details about your team, and the budget. It's also a good idea to keep evidence like deliverables or other documentation to support your claims. Next, record any project management training you've completed. You'll need to provide details about the courses, including the institutions, the number of hours, and ideally, some form of proof like certificates or syllabi. Once all this information is ready, submit your application for review. Having all your documents organized will make it easier if PMI requests additional materials or if your application is randomly selected for an audit. Finally, you'll need to pay the exam fee, which ranges from $400 to $500. Consider becoming a PMI member to save some money on this cost. With your preparation complete and all materials compiled, you're ready to breeze through the application process and move on to mastering project management. You're well on your way to success. Breezing through your PDUs. Let me share a valuable insight with you. Mastering the project management body of knowledge, PMBOK, is no small feat. It's a dense collection of concepts that can feel overwhelming, especially when you're trying to understand how it all interlinks for the PMP exam. But don't worry, I've developed a study approach that can streamline your preparation, conserve your resources, and most importantly, provide you with the clarity you need. It's all about strategic preparation, learning the precise material you'll be tested on for your PMP while simultaneously earning your project management PDUs. These professional development units are essential for your PMP application and represent time spent learning, teaching, or volunteering in 1-hour increments. According to PMI, you need to either hold an active CAPM certification or complete 35 hours of project management education or training to apply. This training could come from various sources, like a university course, an in-person workshop, or an online PMP course. Personally, I used credits from a university course, but soon found myself deeply engaged in online training focused on PMBOK. Treat these 35 hours of required training as a chance to dive deep into the specific domains, tasks, and enablers that the exam will cover. Instead of opting for a general project management course or something you completed years ago, seize this opportunity to invest in a course tailored for PMP certification, like the ones you find on Udemy or other platforms. I found Joseph Phillips' course incredibly helpful, but you have plenty of options based on your budget and preferred learning style. The key is to ensure you're absorbing the content that will be on the exam, using this mandatory training to both meet the requirement and enhance your knowledge in one go. After all, as project managers, we know the value of being strategic and resourceful. Improperly timing up your exam. Have you ever heard the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears? In the tale, a young girl explores a house belonging to a family of bears, testing out their porridge, chairs, and beds until she finds what feels just right. Similarly, when it comes to studying for and scheduling your exam, finding that just right timing is key. Let's break it down. If you give yourself too little time, say just 4 to 6 weeks, you may struggle to fully grasp the material and find yourself rushing through your studies. Conversely, taking too much time, over 6 months, can lead to forgetting key information and procrastination. The sweet spot for most people is around 3 to 5 months of preparation, according to sources like PM Study Circle and the PMP subreddit. The exact timing will depend on how much time you can dedicate each day, but sticking to this range can help you avoid misjudging the exam timeline. Timing also extends to the day you choose to take your exam. Scheduling through Pearson allows for flexibility, including the option to test at a center or remotely. I suggest choosing a testing center to minimize distractions. When selecting your exam date, consider your work schedule and any personal commitments leading up to that day. Some centers offer Saturday appointments, but if not, you may need to take time off work. Lastly, think about the time of day you'll take the exam. A 2016 Forbes article suggests that taking exams earlier in the day can help reduce cognitive fatigue. If you prefer an afternoon slot, be sure to take a break before starting to refresh your mind. So, as you plan your exam, ask yourself, is this timing too much, not enough, or just right? Studying mistakes. Forgetting a study plan. Planning is essential to any successful endeavor, including studying for your PMP certification. As the Scottish poet Robert Burns once said, "The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry." But what if you don't even have a plan? The potential for things to go off track increases significantly. To avoid this lesson will guide you in creating a strategic study plan for your PMP exam, similar to how you would manage a project. We'll start by exploring the processes domain, which is crucial for structuring your study approach. Your plan should outline your project schedule, budget, and the resources needed. A great strategy is to reverse engineer your study timeline, starting from your exam date and working backwards to determine key milestones and necessary resources. Next, define the scope of your study project. What topics you'll cover, how you'll tackle them, and the risks that might disrupt your progress. The scope here encompasses everything in the PMBOK, while risks could include unforeseen obligations or factors that could derail your schedule. The people domain is less central when you're studying solo, but you can still leverage it by connecting with colleagues or study groups to share resources and insights. Engaging with a supportive network can provide additional motivation and knowledge-sharing opportunities. Remember, one of the key benefits of PMP certification is the extensive professional network you gain access to. Lastly, consider how the business environment processes might apply. Although they seem less relevant to studying, you can draw parallels with your work experience. For example, when I was preparing for my PMP, I built a business case to secure sponsorship from my employer, highlighting how certification would enhance my project management skills. Your study plan might similarly reveal opportunities for organizational improvements or shifts in market trends. In essence, approach your PMP study plan like a project. Map out your scope and schedule, leverage your work experience, and craft a robust plan to guide your preparation. Now, it's time to dive in and start working towards your certification. Leveraging the wrong resources. When developing this course, I drew upon an array of resources: Google searches, my PMBOK guide, a thesaurus, feedback from my team, instructional design principles, and even a teleprompter app to refine my delivery. Each tool played a crucial role in crafting what I believe will be a valuable resource for you. This process mirrors the approach I took while preparing for my PMP exam. And now, I want to share how you can build your own toolkit for exam preparation. Start by ensuring your resources are current and relevant. Much like you wouldn't use outdated software, your study materials should reflect the latest content and exam formats. Look beyond conventional resources. Explore forums like the PMP subreddit or other non-traditional study platforms for additional insights. Just as a DIY project requires a diverse set of tools, your study approach should incorporate various aids, practice exams, flashcards, study guides, online courses, and the PMBOK, each fulfilling a unique role in your learning journey. Think of it like gathering inspiration and advice for a home project. Research, gather diverse perspectives, and incorporate different methods to enhance your understanding. By doing so, you'll approach the exam more comprehensively and improve your chances of success. So, take a moment to consider, what other tools or resources might I need? And where can I find them? Improper time management. How would you feel if I asked you to run a marathon tomorrow? Or compete in an Olympic event? It might sound daunting, but these examples highlight a crucial point. Athletes understand the importance of precise timing. Distance runners pace themselves to endure the entire race, while Olympians know that winning or losing can hinge on mere fractions of a second. Similarly, mastering timing is key to acing your PMP exam. In this lesson, I'll guide you through managing your time effectively during the exam. You have a total of 230 minutes, translating to about 1 minute and 20 seconds per question. However, keep in mind that the timed breaks and program tutorials don't count towards this total. Utilize the available tools, like flagging questions, to manage your time wisely. The exam is divided into 3 sections, each followed by an optional break. For the first 60 questions, if you're using a brain dump technique, where you jot down key points on your scratch paper, allocate no more than 10 minutes for this task. After answering and reviewing the first set of questions, you can take a 10-minute break. Repeat this process for questions 61 through 120 and 121 through 180, with breaks in between. Once you've completed the exam, you'll fill out a brief survey about your experience before receiving your results. You'll be assessed in 3 domains with a final pass or fail outcome. To prepare for this marathon, practice is key. Simulate the test environment by sitting for the full 4 hours and familiarizing yourself with the process. With diligent practice, you'll be ready to tackle the exam and aim for success. Misunderstanding the exam. Ever found yourself in a text or email conversation where it seemed like you were speaking a different language than the person on the other end? If so, you know how frustrating and potentially damaging those communication breakdowns can be. Misunderstandings can impact not just your daily interactions but also your career and relationships. The same principle applies to preparing for your PMP exam. It's easy to get caught up in either real-life experiences or specific definitions, leading to confusion and incorrect answers. This video aims to clear up exactly what you'll be tested on to prevent any confusion. Previously, the PMP exam focused on 5 process groups. However, the latest version has shifted to 3 key domains: people, processes, and business environment. Each domain encompasses different tasks and responsibilities of a project manager. The people domain, which accounts for 42% of the exam, 75 questions, involves managing stakeholders, resolving conflicts, and providing training. The processes domain, covering 50% of the exam, 80 questions, focuses on budget and schedule management, risk evaluation, and project changes. Lastly, the business environment domain, though smaller at 8%, 15 questions, addresses compliance, monitoring external factors, and internal change support. Despite its smaller percentage, this domain can be quite challenging, so don't skimp on your study efforts here. Understanding the breakdown of the exam will help you tailor your study plan effectively, ensuring you spend your time wisely across all domains and avoid misinterpretations. You've got this. Focusing your efforts too much. Consider preparing for your exam as if you're assembling a complex jigsaw puzzle. The process is meticulous, demanding patience, but the satisfaction of completion is immense. Even if you're not a puzzle enthusiast, as a project manager, you're adept at problem solving. Your PMP exam is akin to a challenging 5,000-piece puzzle that might take considerable time to complete. In this lesson, I'll help you visualize each element of the exam and how it interconnects. We'll begin by examining the borders of the puzzle, which serve as your framework and guidance. These borders consist of essential concepts or definitions that are vital to remember, such as Figure 1.1 from the PMBOK, which illustrates the relationship between project management principles and performance domains, or key processes and definitions you need to commit to memory. These foundational elements will help you navigate the exam and are critical for understanding the bigger picture. With the borders in place and your fundamental knowledge secured, you'll be ready to tackle the more intricate interior pieces of the puzzle. These pieces are more complex and require you to apply what you've learned to make connections and solve problems. This might involve interpreting diagrams, analyzing matrices, or selecting the appropriate next step in a process. As you study, focus not just on memorizing definitions and processes but on understanding how they fit together and apply to different scenarios. By mastering how these pieces interconnect, you'll be well prepared to assemble the entire puzzle and tackle the exam with confidence. Problem solved, right? Spending too much, or too little. We've all had those moments where a purchase didn't turn out as planned. Maybe you splurged on a high-end kitchen gadget, only to find it wasn't quite the culinary marvel you expected. Or perhaps you opted for the budget option that left you wishing you had spent a bit more for a better experience. These decisions can leave us feeling regretful, especially when we realize we could have invested our money more wisely. The same principle applies when preparing for your project management certification. In this lesson, I'll guide you on how to make smart investments in your PMP exam prep. Avoid getting lured by overly extravagant PMP training packages that promise the world but may not deliver value. Instead, explore free resources first to assess their quality and determine if a more comprehensive investment is truly necessary. Conversely, don't shy away from spending altogether. While free resources are abundant, some paid materials can significantly enhance your study experience. Identify your learning style, whether it's through audio, video, flashcards, or quizzes, and align your investments accordingly. Remember, earning your PMP certification is a valuable investment in your future. Even if it feels like you're stretching your budget, keep your end goal in mind and choose the resources that will genuinely aid your success. Invest thoughtfully in the tools that will make a real difference, and let go of the rest. With the right approach, you'll be well on your way to mastering the material and achieving your certification. Bon appetit on your study journey. Last-minute exam prep. Cramming the night prior. Ever experienced the feeling of brain mush? Let me paint the picture for you. It's 2 a.m., you're fueled by a Red Bull, and you've just devoured the last of your fridge's leftovers. Whether you're holed up in a library or squinting at your laptop's glow on your twin XL bed, you're committed to acing that midterm, finishing that application, or submitting that paper. But how do you feel the next day? For me, those all-nighters left me exhausted, cranky, and foggy-headed. In fact, a recent study from sleep.org found that pulling an all-nighter can lead to poor concentration, memory issues, and slower decision-making. This isn't exactly what you want when you're sitting for your PMP exam. In this lesson, I'll guide you on how to balance exam readiness with managing pre-exam stress. For optimal preparation, study strategically without overloading yourself. Aim to review key materials and ensure you feel refreshed. Here's how. Practice your brain dump technique. Rehearse it 1 or 2 times the night before to reinforce your memory. Focus on reviewing your weak spots. By now, you should know what you've mastered and what needs more attention, so dedicate time to these areas in the days leading up to the test. Besides studying, managing your mindset is crucial. Create a peaceful environment to help you unwind. Whether it's through meditation, a relaxing bath, or catching up on your favorite show. Also, do a test run of the route to your exam location to avoid any last-minute stress about finding the place. And, of course, get a good night's sleep. The PMP exam demands sharp critical thinking and application of concepts, so well-rested is key. These strategies won't guarantee a perfect exam score or eliminate all your nerves, but they'll help you stay sharp and energized, steering clear of that dreaded mush brain. Give them a try. Sweating the small stuff. Preparing for your exam can be overwhelming, and it's easy for your mind to feel overloaded with all the information. I remember struggling with self-doubt and maintaining confidence, even with a brain dump in hand. To help you stay calm and focused during the test, here are some key strategies to remember when evaluating each question. First, trust the study plan you've crafted. If you're contemplating whether to reschedule your test or invest in additional resources, your initial plan should guide your decision. Refer back to those planning steps to avoid unnecessary stress. Next, consider the ethical approach of a manager in each scenario. For instance, if a question involves dealing with a struggling team member, your instinct should be to offer support rather than taking drastic actions like immediate termination. Pay attention to the domain and task context in each question. If the question describes an issue and asks for the next step, identify the domain involved. For example, if the issue is about managing stakeholders or fixing problems, you can infer it's related to the process domain. Use the context clues in the question to determine your task, such as managing project issues. Lastly, maintain a positive mindset throughout the exam. The length of the test might lead to self-doubt, but don't let it overwhelm you. Just like in project management, trust your abilities and rely on your experiences to navigate through challenges. Approach the exam with the same problem-solving skills and adaptability you use in your projects, and you'll find success. Believe in yourself, you've got this. Conclusion. Time to crush it. Congratulations on completing the course. I genuinely enjoyed crafting this content for you, and I hope it has provided you with a solid foundation and boosted your confidence for the PMP exam. Preparing for the exam is a journey that involves utilizing various resources. One tool I highly recommend is the PMP Pocket Prep app, which offers customizable quizzes and helps reinforce key definitions and concepts right from your phone. Another great resource is Ricardo Vargas's YouTube channel. As a renowned member of the PMI committee, his insights can simplify complex exam topics and make them more digestible. Additionally, Oliver Lehman's practice exams are particularly helpful. They closely mirror the actual exam experience and are an excellent way to test your readiness. I'd love to hear about your exam prep journey and see your success. Let's stay connected on LinkedIn to share experiences and celebrate achievements. And don't forget, a great study playlist is key. Remember that 2000s playlist I mentioned? Now's the perfect time to use it. You've got this. Go ahead and ace that exam.